Today, I want to talk about something that affects every single one of us, whether we realize it or not. The comfort zone. It's that familiar space where everything feels safe, predictable, and under control. It's where we go to avoid stress, risk, and the unknown. But here's the truth. While the comfort zone may feel like a sanctuary, it's also a cage. It's a place where dreams go to die, where potential is stifled, and where growth is halted. And if you're serious about living a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment, it's time to leave your comfort zone. Think about it. When was the last time you did something that truly challenged you? When was the last time you took a risk, or faced a fear, or pursued a goal that seemed just out of reach? If you're like most people, the answer is probably not recently. And that's because the comfort zone is seductive. It whispers to us, telling us that we're fine where we are, that we don't need to change, that the risks aren't worth it. But deep down, we know better. Deep down, we know that staying in the comfort zone is a form of self-betrayal. The reality is that growth lies beyond comfort. Every significant achievement in human history, every innovation, every discovery, every act of courage has come from someone who was willing to step into the unknown. They didn't wait for the perfect moment or for all the fear to disappear. They simply took the first step, even though it was uncomfortable. And you can do the same. Now, I'm not saying that leaving your comfort zone is easy. It's not. It's messy, it's scary, and it's often painful. But it's also necessary, because life is inherently uncertain. No matter how much we try to control our circumstances, there will always be challenges, setbacks, and surprises. And if we don't learn to embrace uncertainty, we'll spend our lives running from it, always one step behind. But here's the good news. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable. You learn to navigate uncertainty, to adapt to change, and to face your fears head on. And over time, what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. What once seemed terrifying becomes manageable. One of the most important things to remember is that leaving your comfort zone doesn't mean making drastic changes overnight. It's not about quitting your job, moving to a new country, or completely reinventing yourself, unless that's what you truly want. It's about taking small, deliberate steps that push your boundaries. It's about saying yes to opportunities that scare you, even if they're outside your usual routine. It's about embracing discomfort as a sign that you're moving in the right direction. And let's talk about fear for a moment. Fear is a natural response to the unknown. And it's something we all experience. But fear doesn't have to be a barrier. In fact, it can be a guide. When you feel fear, it's often a sign that you're on the edge of something important, something that has the potential to transform your life. So instead of running from fear, lean into it. Use it as a signal to identify areas where you need to grow, and then take action. Finally, I want to remind you that leaving your comfort zone is not just about achieving external success. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about taking responsibility for your life and creating something meaningful. Because the truth is, life is short. And if you spend it hiding in the comfort zone, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. So I challenge you today, take one step outside your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be a big step, just something that pushes you a little beyond what's familiar. Maybe it's having a difficult conversation, trying something new, or pursuing a goal you've been putting off. Whatever it is, do it with courage and determination. Because the more you step outside your comfort zone, the more you'll realize that the life you've always wanted is waiting for you on the other side. Growth lies beyond comfort. The comfort zone is a deceptive place. It feels safe, predictable, and reassuring, but it's also where dreams stagnate and potential remains untapped. True growth, whether personal, professional, or emotional, happens when we step into the unknown. It's in those moments of discomfort, when we're faced with challenges and uncertainties, that we discover what we're truly capable of. Think about the most significant achievements in your life. Chances are they didn't come from staying in a place of ease. They came from taking risks, pushing boundaries, and embracing the unfamiliar. When we stay in our comfort zones, we limit ourselves. We settle for mediocrity because it's easier than striving for excellence. But life isn't meant to be lived in a bubble of safety. It's meant to be explored, experienced, and expanded. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you're not just growing, you're becoming more resilient, more adaptable, and more confident. You're proving to yourself that you can handle more than you thought possible. The truth is, growth is uncomfortable. It requires effort, vulnerability, and a willingness to fail. But it's also incredibly rewarding. When you push past your limits, you open yourself up to new opportunities, new perspectives, and new possibilities. You start to see the world and yourself in a different light. So if you want to grow, if you want to achieve your goals and live a life of meaning, you have to be willing to leave your comfort zone behind. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Embrace uncertainty. Life is inherently uncertain. No matter how much we try to plan, control, or predict, there will always be variables beyond our control. And while this uncertainty can be terrifying, it's also what makes life so rich and dynamic. When we embrace uncertainty, we open ourselves up to new experiences, new relationships, and new ways of thinking. We learn to adapt, to problem solve, and to thrive in the face of adversity. The problem is, many of us spend our lives trying to avoid uncertainty. We stick to routines, avoid risks, and cling to what's familiar because it feels safe. But in doing so, we miss out on the opportunities that come with the unknown. We miss out on the chance to grow, to learn, and to discover what we're truly capable of. Embracing uncertainty doesn't mean throwing caution to the wind or acting recklessly. It means being willing to take calculated risks, to step into the unknown, and to trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. It means recognizing that uncertainty is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. Because it's in the unknown that we find our greatest opportunities for growth and transformation. Responsibility breeds meaning. One of the most powerful ways to leave your comfort zone is to take on responsibility. Responsibility forces us to step up, to face challenges head on, and to push ourselves beyond our limits. It's not always easy, but it's one of the most effective ways to create meaning and purpose in our lives. When we avoid responsibility, we stagnate. We become passive observers of our own lives, waiting for something or someone to come along and make things better. But the truth is, no one is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves, and that starts with taking responsibility for our actions, our choices, and our lives. Taking responsibility means facing the hard truths about ourselves and our circumstances. It means acknowledging our weaknesses, our mistakes, and our failures. But it also means recognizing our strengths, our potential, and our ability to change. When we take responsibility, we take control. We stop blaming others or waiting for the perfect moment, and we start taking action. And in doing so, we create a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Small steps lead to big changes. Leaving your comfort zone doesn't have to mean making drastic changes overnight. In fact, it's often the small, consistent steps that lead to the biggest transformations. Start by identifying one area of your life where you feel stuck or stagnant. Then, take one small step outside your comfort zone. It could be as simple as trying a new hobby, having a difficult conversation, or setting a small, achievable goal. The key is to take action, no matter how small. Because every step you take outside your comfort zone builds momentum. It builds confidence, and over time, those small steps add up to big changes. So don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect plan. Start where you are with what you have, and take that first step. Fear is a guide, not a barrier. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, and it's something we all experience. But fear doesn't have to hold us back. In fact, it can be a powerful guide. When you feel fear, it's often that you're on the edge of something important, something that has the potential to transform your life. Instead of running from fear, lean into it. Use it as a signal to identify areas where you need to grow, and then take action. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to act in spite of it. So the next time you feel afraid, don't let it stop you. Let it guide you. Conclusion. Leaving your comfort zone is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. It's not easy, and it's not always comfortable, but it's necessary if you want to grow, achieve your goals, and live a life of meaning. Remember, growth lies beyond comfort. Embrace uncertainty, take responsibility, and start with small steps. Use fear as a guide, not a barrier. And most importantly, don't wait for the perfect moment, start now. The life you've always wanted is waiting for you on the other side of your comfort zone. It's time to take that first step. It's time to leave your comfort zone behind and embrace the unknown. Because the truth is, you're capable of more than you think. You're stronger, braver, and more resilient than you realize. And the only way to discover that is to step into the unknown and see what you're truly made of. So go ahead, take that step. Your future self will thank you.